we are in the QBO gym, and this is where we have numerous hands-on exercises that simulate real-life scenarios that you may encounter as a bookkeeper. Each month covers a variety of new topics and scenarios, and to make it a little bit easier for you, we break it down into 4 different sections. So if you are looking to work on your bookkeeping skills, this is the place for you. And if you want to do an entire month's worth of these all on your own, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. But let's get into today's exercise, which is being pulled from our July Year 1 cool down section. At the top here is an animated video to give you a synopsis of what is going on in Craig's world this month. He is our fictitious business owner. Further down is an interactive pre-assessment quiz that relates to the video up above. Below that are the exercises in this section. And at the bottom here is an optional area where after you have gone through all of the exercises in this section and completed them, you will unlock some sample marketing posts that you can use on your LinkedIn to share with everyone what you have learned so far. So let's dive into today's exercise where we are going to practice reconciling the checking account. Go ahead and click on that link to have the exercise pulled up for you. I have it over here on the right side of my screen, so let's read through the scenario. As a bookkeeper, your primary responsibility is to ensure that all financial transactions are correctly categorized and match the flow of money into and out of the bank. You have just received the monthly statement from Craig's bank. Now it's time to confirm that all the transactions have been correctly added to and categorized in QuickBooks Online. To complete this exercise, you will need a copy of Craig's bank statement. Click on the link beneath the cool down video to grab a copy. So if I go back here in the gym, here is that cool down video, and underneath that is a button that says checking. Go ahead and click on that button to have the download start. Once you download it and open it up, this is what it will look like. So you will need to be in the same session of the sample company that you did the previous exercises in. If you have not completed those yet, go ahead and click on the link on the top right corner of your screen. That'll take you to the first one, complete that one and all the ones after it until you get back to this one. They all build on each other, so it's really important to start with that first one. I have the sample company pulled up here on the left side of my screen. This is the last page that I left off of from the previous exercise and where we're going to start today. So let's go ahead and get started with this exercise. To begin reconciling, we need to click on first Accountant Tools and then select Reconcile. So Accountant Tools is on the top of the screen here. Click on that, and then under Quick Links, select Reconcile. Now you're going to get this welcome screen. It's just there's a quick video, there's some more information. It's just QBO letting you know what this area is all about if it's your first time here. Once you have reconciled after the first time, you won't see this screen anymore. So go ahead and click on Get Started. And you're going to get one more pop-up just like this. Go ahead and click on Let's Get Reconciled. Again, after you have reconciled for the first time, you will not see either one of those screens anymore. So in the ending balance field, we want to type the ending balance found on the sample bank statement. So if we go into the bank statement right here, the ending balance is showing as $1,302.85. So we're going to, in that statement ending balance, and enter that amount. Once again, $1,302.85. $1,302.85. $1,302.85. Just double checking one more time. All right, and then in this statement ending balance or statement ending date, excuse me, in a real life scenario, you would use the ending date that is on the bank statement. But for the purpose of this exercise, we're just going to type a lowercase t to enter today's date for as the ending date. So click into that field, type a lowercase t, and you will see that you are able to have today's date. And then let's go ahead and click on Start Reconciling. That's the green button down here. Go ahead and click on that. And once you do, you will get to this screen. If you get any pop-ups like this, just go ahead and click out of them. They're informational guides from QBO, just giving you information about what is in this area. So let's talk about what's here. Before we move on, let's take a little bit closer look at what we're actually seeing here on the screen, especially if this is your first time of reconciling. So the first thing here is this beginning balance. It is the balance or ending balance from the last time that you reconciled. It cannot be changed. It's set in stone. Now the statement ending balance is from the bank statement right here, which we just entered on that previous screen. If for whatever reason you realize that this statement ending balance or the statement ending date happen to be incorrect, you can always click on this edit info button to make the change. Next to each transaction is a circle. Now I'm going to scroll over here so that you can see it. Here are all of those circles. Once you have actually found the transaction here on the bank statement and it matches here on the QuickBooks reconciliation page, you would click on the circle to have a blue check mark show up for you, kind of like as you're processing the bank feeds. So once you find the match, then you would click that. And when you do start clicking on these circles, it's going to be added to the total payments and deposits. So for instance, if I click this first one, you will see now that the payment here, that $300 payment is moving up in this direction. I'm going to unclick it so that we have a fresh slate here. Now, the cleared balance is the beginning balance minus the payments and deposits. So here is that cleared balance, and it is, as I mentioned here, the beginning balance from that last month minus the combination of the payments and deposits. Now, finally, here we have this difference. This is the statement ending balance minus the cleared balance. So statement ending balance minus the cleared balance equals the difference. The ultimate goal here is to have this as 0. When you have this as 0, it means that everything that is on the bank statement is matching properly in QuickBooks Online. And so you will have a difference of 0 at that point. And so as a bookkeeper, it's very satisfying to know that when everything has come into place and is matching and that difference shows as 0. Now, one final note here that if you are looking for transactions that are not showing up here, you may want to clear out this filter because currently in here, it is showing only those that are dated on or before the statement ending date. So you would just click on this X to clear out of it and look to see if one of the transactions you were looking for is in fact showing up at that point. Sometimes they get added, have the incorrect date that is added, and these are often called hidden or rogue transactions. So if that happens and you're looking for something, you can't find it, try clearing out of that filter in real life and see if maybe you can find it then. All right, so in the remaining steps of this exercise, we're going to complete the reconciliation by checking each transaction until this difference ends up being 0. If you were clicking around on these circles here, make sure that you unclick all of them so that you don't have anything showing up here in your payments and deposits. If you clicked a whole bunch of them, you can click this top one to select all and then click it again to unselect all of them. All right, so when you start to reconcile in the sample company, you may need to close up several navigational pop-ups, which I showed at the beginning before we talked about this page. If yours are still there, go ahead and click out of them. When you finish doing that, we're going to begin the reconciliation by finding and checking all of the deposits. So let's go ahead and click on the Deposits tab, which is right here. And what this will allow us to do is to only show the transactions that are in fact deposits. It's basically a filter here. And the reason you may want to do that in real life as you're doing reconciliation is if your bank is breaking it out into deposits, checks, other debits, then it may make sense to be using these particular tabs rather than just having all of the transactions show at one time. It'll just make it a little bit easier for you as we're doing the reconciliation. So let's go ahead and look one by one and start checking off as we find them. So this first one is a deposit check for $175, which happens to be this top one right here. Then we have a deposit from Kate Whalen for $225. You can see Kate's name right there, 225. Click on that circle as well. Another check is for $105. So let's find that deposit. It's from Amy's Bird Sanctuary. Go ahead and click on that. And then $694, another deposited check. That's for Cool Cars, and that happens to be the next one right there. Then we have one for $86.40. So that's the second one here from Freeman Sporting Goods. And then we have one more deposit check for $337.50. That is the one from Dylan, and that is right there. And there we go. We have now reconciled the deposits here. But let's go ahead and see if we can find all of the checks. So we're going to click on the Payments tab. So if you go back here, here is that Payments tab. For whatever reason, my the wording is kind of over top of it. If yours is that way, just kind of click outside of it to click on Payments. Now we're going to click on reference number, that column, to sort the list by reference number or check number. You may have to click reference number a couple of times to get it sorted in the order that you want. So go ahead and click on that it says no, number. Right now it is showing from the highest number to the lowest and then everything else. Let me click it one more time and see how that looks. That's going to be a little bit easier, starting with 1 and then making its way down. So let's use the sample bank statement to check all of the matching checks. I'm going to scroll over so that we can see this. And then let's start here. We have check number 1 for $2,000. So check 1, 2,000, that matches. Go ahead and click on that circle. Then we have check 4 for $54.55. Check 4, 54.55, that matches. Click on that circle. Check number 10 for $300. So let's go ahead and find that. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. It looks like Robertson and I think Associates. So $300, check 10. Then we have check 45 for $666. So check 45, Tim Phillip Masonry. Go ahead and click on that. That is a match. Then we have check 75 for $228.75. So check 75, Hicks Hardware, that matches, the amount matches. And then we have one final one for $75, and this is check number 76. So 76, that's for Pam Sites for $75. Click on that circle. And now we have matched all of the checks. Now you'll notice that you are not checking all of the checks that are on here, and this is completely normal. There will always be more transactions in QBO than that go through the bank. The objective here is just to make sure that the bank transactions have been recorded in QBO and that they're matching here on the bank statements, which is what we just did for both the deposits and the checks. And so now we can finally turn our attention to the remaining debits. Let's go and sort this now by date rather than having it sorted by check number. So we're going to click on date to sort the list again so that it is in date order, which I believe is how it was before. So once you have clicked on that and it's resorted, let's go ahead and start looking at the bank statement. So we have one for $250 for Robertson and Associates. I'm going to scroll back over here. I think I need to, I'm actually going to, so it's all the way down here at the bottom. Let's have it sorted so that the oldest dates are going to show first. So click on it one more time in that date column. That'll just make it a little bit easier because the bank statement is likely, even though our dates are not actually here, it's likely going from the oldest transactions to the newest ones. So go ahead and have it sorted so that you have the oldest dates showing here. Again, the sample company is always changing the dates, and so your dates may be different than what I have, but just have it sorted in the way that I just mentioned. All right, so it's Robertson and Associates for $250. Let's go ahead and click on that circle right there. We have two for the Board of Equalization. These are sales tax payments. So one is for $38.50 and one is for $38.40. So those happen to be the next two that are showing up right here. Go ahead and click on the circle to have both of those checked off. Next, we have for Tanya's Nursery for $89.09. So let's go here. That's the next one showing up here. Then we have for Hicks Hardware, $250. So that is, if I scroll down just a tiny bit, you can see their name and then the amount. Click on the circle. And then where are we? We have Tanya's Nursery for $108.09. That's the next one that we want to click off. Then we have one for Hicks Hardware for $24.36. So that's this other one, this other Hicks Hardware one. Click on the circle once you find it. We have one for Squeaky Clean for $19.99. So let's click on that. That happens to be the next one right here. So click on that circle. And as a note here, I believe that there is another one for Squeaky Clean Car Wash also for $19.99. We're going to click on just the one that happens to be up here towards the top. But in a real life scenario, if you have the same amount from the same vendor, you want to make sure that the one that you are matching from the bank statement is the one that has the same date. Now, we don't have the dates here on our sample bank statement because, like I mentioned earlier, they're always changing these particular dates in the sample company, so we don't actually put real dates on our bank statement. But just keep that in mind in real life, that as you're going through, if you see two transactions that are from the same vendor and for the exact same amount, just make sure you're selecting the one that is the correct matching date from the bank statement. So let's continue on. We are almost done here. Bob's Burger Joint for $5.66. So let's see, that's this one right here. And then we have for Chin's Gas and Oil, we have $52.14. So here it is right there. And as you notice, as we keep checking, we're getting closer and closer to that zero here. Hall Properties for $900 is going to be the next one to click off. That is this one. It's right under that Chin's Gas and Oil. And that difference keeps getting closer to zero. So now we have one for Hicks Hardware for $215.66. So let's scroll down a little bit. Here it is, $215.66. And then finally, we have one for Bob's Burger Joint for $3.86. So that is right here. Go ahead and click on it. And you will see now that the difference has gone to zero, which means that we have achieved the goal of a zero difference, which means we have reconciled everything properly. So go ahead and click on this green Finish Now button. And we have now reconciled the checking account. Now, as a note here, in your client's books, you would have the ability here to attach the statement. There would be a button right here to be able to do that. It never hurts to have that extra documentation here in QuickBooks. So you have that opportunity here, not in the sample company. It's just not a feature that they have, but just know that that does exist. So go ahead and click on the green Done button. And there we go. That is it. That is how you would reconcile the checking accounts. Now, if you like this exercise and you'd like to do more like it, be sure to join our free 5-day bookkeeping challenge. All you need to do is click on the link in the description. We're going to continue on, and if you want to join, be sure to leave this session of the sample company open, as you will need it for the next exercise in the cool down section, where we practice reconciling the savings account. And I will see you in the next video.